Good morning, Kansas City. Wonderful day to see you out there. I'm joined by a fantastic person today on this show that we've been featuring here for real world learning segments in the Kansas City Public School District. My name is Chris Odam. I have the joy of being English coordinator there and also having had a long experience teaching at one particular building, Paseo Academy. Shout out to all the Paseo Pirates. And I'm joined by another Paseo Pirate today, John Lewis. And what year did you graduate from that fine institution, sir?
2006.
Okay, that puts a frame on things for us today as we go back in time a little bit here. We are in 2021 somehow and still kicking, but if you think back to 2006, some of the people listening might not have really been around at that point. John, we're older than we might think we are sometimes, huh? So
yeah, definitely older than we look.
Yeah, right. So we're staying young through the arts. John's a poet, and I'm going to let him tell you basically beyond just being a poet, he's also kind of dipped into the whole Kansas City area and created a scene, I think, and had like lots of attention for things he's put together. So I'll let him tell that story. I've only seen it and admired it from a distance from social media and seeing those things. But long ago, John did attend and go to Paseo Academy and participate in some of our productions there. I was the host of a show called Coffee House. So we had a number of people that, from that show have never stopped performing. And we could tell, like, from the moment they started in that show that they were never going to stop performing. And I was so lucky to be part of that for so long. So, John, give us an update, my man. What's been going on with you since 2006? What paths have you gone down, and how'd you know you should take them, I guess?
Peace and blessings. Basically, since 2006, it's just been a journey of just trying to find myself as an all-around artist. At Paseo, I did a lot of theater. That was my major, so I did a lot of stage productions, performing written works of other artists, and it was cool. But once I got into college, I started dabbling in the poetry world, writing on a flip phone. Really how I started writing love poems, and I didn't know nothing about love, but I T9 away, click, click, click on my LG. Life's good. But I started doing that, and then it just kind of like, it flourished, it kind of grew. And I just stuck with it. I ended up basically kind of working under the wing of Theory, or Sam Foster. He kind of took me under his wing, introduced me to performance poetry, and it's just been a journey since then. I started doing it officially in 2010. So I'm going on, this will be the 11th year that I've been doing it. So I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. I went from being nobody know who I was to, oh yeah, I want to write a poem, and I'm performing every Monday at Soul Sessions. And I did that for like a year. I write a poem, I memorize it, and I go perform it every Monday. And then I started doing slam poetry, and that's been a really, really dope world. Been on the slam stage a few times, about 5 or 6 years that I've been doing it. I've competed on the slam stage. Recently took up being a slam master. So now I'm coaching as well, trying to get my badges for that. I got this one for surfing. That's really about it. I've been just trying to grow that way. Yep. But just taking this journey with poetry is been really crazy.
It's really cool. And the fact that when you look back at 11 years there or so, when you're telling it, like, that's a lot of days in there. Like, that's a 365 times 11, folks, is a long journey in poetry, right? And that you're still in it, and it's not over, and that's fantastic.
Still growing at that. That goes to show you, like, I'm still growing as an artist, as far as a writer, as far as a performer. So like it don't matter what, like you still can grow. Even if you stop, get back into it and let that journey go, because everybody got a story. Everybody got medicine in them.
Yeah.
They just need to get it out, put it on paper so they can give it to people.
That's fantastic.
Or just for themselves.
So I know I've been dabbling by being involved with some of the poets I know in the city just by reading their threads or watching on social media who they're talking to or talking through. And I think and you know Sherry Hall, right? This is a group you're part of quite a bit, right? Is that
I actually want to do this for you real quick.
That's Sherry Hall?
Right there. This is...
Oh my God! Well, now that's pretty awesome and authentic. We'll bring her in on the interview, man. If she's died 100 million times.
Are you able to? Are you able to talk on this interview for a little bit?
I can chat.
No pressure, but say hi. Hi, I'm Chris Odam. I've known about you or of you, maybe met you. I worked at Paseo for forever.
Oh, I can't hear it yet.
Oh my! See if I can see her. Hi, I was just mentioning your name because we were talking about social media. My name's Chris Odam. I'm a teacher in Kansas City Public Schools for years. I think we've met, maybe talked briefly. I've known of you and your poetry and basically have a lot of connections because I did the coffee house shows there at Paseo for so long. So that's me, Chris Odam. But I was just mentioning to my man here that I think I put myself in a scenario on a social media call a moment where people were talking about the poet that was selected for the inauguration. And I'm not sure who this fella is that was in your thread, but I couldn't believe how uninformed he was about spoken word. And even just today, I could hear your voice. And just now I can tell you, thank you for what you were saying in that thread. But
well, you're welcome. I was pretty, let's say, not pleased at the behest of using the word angered, irritated, tired, because a lot of the people there are people that judge things, juror things, and really use exclusion to their advantage. So, that whole thread. See, this is what I'm talking about. You start talking on Facebook, and then bam.
It's pretty awesome that you guys are sitting next to each other, and I've been dying to talk and catch up with John. I've been doing this little interview show for the Kansas City Public Schools where I get a hold of people that I've known a long time ago, and we kind of talk through what's been going on since and what's still pulling your heartstrings, or do you still write poetry? So John was going to do a poem for us here as like a special treat on this show. Would you want to do one for us too?
Sure.
Believe me, I understand that asking for it's your art form. So I would send you bucks if I could, but I have no power in this moment. But John and I talked about it a little bit. I'd even do a piece to make it even.
Okay.
How about if I start? Will that work?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna get out the way, and you guys decide who follows whom at that point.
You going?
All right, Coach.
All right. This is a long time ago.
Yes.
I retraced a pile of papers to find this one. So.
Oh my.
Blast from the past.
It's really not going to be that awesome, but I'm going to give it a shot.
It's work.
Maybe we should just be cool, hide from the world, even school. Just get down together the way we can when we leave behind the rest of this land. Just once I was thinking I had no friends, till I found a beat pattern and I put that to an end. And verse 2 showed up and just came to say, hey, I could be your new friend today. Hey, I could take all those worries away. Hey, I could hear all the things you don't even say. So I never really wondered if he'd be there or not. I could feel his support from the very beat drop. That little metronome, my best pal. I like him more these days than any gal. He's always on beat, that's the way I like it. Like my old sneaks, they still came back to life, kid. And that's that piece.
I wish I would have took your class when I was in school on G.
Oh man, I wish he would have also, but I know we crossed paths eventually. So, all right. Who's next?
I'll go for you, Coach. I'm gonna do a phobia poem. I'm gonna do a poem about phobias. All right. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Acrophobia. Fear of heights. Aerophobia is a fear of flying. We all know arachnophobia, a fear of spiders. Astrophobia, a fear of thunder and lightning. Autophobia, a fear of being alone. Or anuptophobia, a fear of staying single, alone as in with oneself, unable to succumb thoughts, escape mind, it's a trap. I seem to find parts of myself in these. It's interesting how some of these fit snug like two small sweaters that just so happens to be your favorite. And when we all have small fears, we see huge, like gamophobia, a fear of marriage, genophobia, a fear of women, filiophobia, a fear of love. I find it hard to say I love you. To things that are forever fleeting. I never truly loved a woman other than family. I love beautiful sunlit days and crisp moonlit nights. I've noticed none of my siblings have significant others. How hard it is to trust. And it makes me sad. Makes me howl at the moon on clear sky nights. Believe me, I tried to find it once I searched, and I learned you don't search. It finds you like rock bottom. They saved your life, love. And with that comes trust. I wouldn't say my fear of women is a phobia, but it's still a fear nonetheless. And I be fool, hoping to get bit by that love bug or hit with Cupid's arrow because I'm a hopeless romantic at heart. It's just beating deep under callous flesh Moore's code. I want to love you. Phobias and all. But ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Cacao, that's phobia.
Bam.
Man, that's nice. That's nice. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're getting a treat here. We're getting a twofer. By all means, I love it, right? I know how this works because like when you let somebody go after you, there's tiny bit of pressure, but Sherry looks like she's ready. So
this is the GOAT.
No. I'll just be saying words. Okay.
We all know. Well, those who don't know, this is the great Sherry Hall, and I don't think I've ever seen you in person, so this will be certainly a treat for me.
Deer don't get stuck in headlights because they're being standoffish or standing their ground or something. They literally are in a state of shock and don't see what's going on. Their eyes aren't really able to process red and orange, which gives them both partial blindness and awesome night vision in the darkness. Their pupils dilate, spanning the entirety of their eye, allowing them to take in all the soft light they can, making them able to run and frolic all night long. But when those headlights come, their fully dilated pupils aren't really able to accept more light, so they stand there, frozen, off until it's too late. Of course, the average onlooker doesn't know this, looking at this sacred creature with no patience, like, move, stupid deer, move, but no, they don't. Become a suddenly static statue fixture getting hit, and the average onlooker looks a combo pity and piss, like, how stupid can you be to just lay there and take the blow? But the deer wasn't expecting this, couldn't see it coming. Happy, dancing, vixen, dashing through the twilight twinkle, dashing before the dawn. Pupils dilated, wide open, had me wide open. running, trying to take in all of him that I could, trying to see everything, couldn't even see anything, couldn't see the forest beyond the trees. I wasn't being standoffish or nothing. Just blindly in love. Couldn't see the red flags while frolicking through his meadows, where suddenly lights escalated quickly. He struck and I was stuck trying to figure out what is going on here. When presented with light, I ain't know quite how to react. When presented with illuminated truth, I would much rather just stay in the darkness, retreat to the darkness, than to be having a tarnished image of him burned into my retinas. His truth traveled at the speed of anger, no longer kindred spirit animal, but maniacal machine, crashing dome, bashing body, careening into everything I had built up inside myself, reckless. You would think he would at least push his brakes or swerve to avoid contact. It was as if I wasn't even a living creature, and his malevolence, he just kept coming and coming and coming. As I lay here at this fork in the road, unable to process state or gold, wondering if I have a black eye, bloody mouth, bleed internal, fractured body and spirit split, looking down at my battered self, seeing the sunken place I allowed myself to sink into. Thinking how stupid could it be that you just lay there and allow him to blow and blow and blow through your combo, pity and piss, thinking, move, stupid dear, sweet, sacred self, girl, get out, move. That's that piece. I completely said half the lines backwards. Hey. I wasn't even ready to go. But look, if you don't finish, you don't win. So you keep going till you finish. Don't matter if you mess up.
Love it. No, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for that piece.
Thank you.
So really, what we've explored sometimes on this show for young people who are watching are ways that they can find paths in their minds that they may not have seen exemplified for them through our modern school system, where there might be, very small glimpse into what people do after they leave our school system. And one of the goals that I've had in doing these interviews is somewhat of harvest. And so you never know exactly what, I'm so fortunate and lucky to have harvested 2 amazing poems today for other people to get to hear, and 2 pretty amazing people here to be able to maybe share with us, this is what you do, right? So you've found a way to take what you love and turn it into your work. Can either one of you guys explain what you do and how that worked out for you so other people might see it can?
I completely switched over from theater to being a performance poet, doing poetry, doing slams. I coach now. So it's different outlets, different ways that you can get into it. I found mentors when I first started because it was something that I did not know anything about.
Yeah, and you said Samuel Foster, who happened to be one of the people I worked with a lot, right, in the early days when I first started at Paseo. And he's actually done this interview with me also. I don't know if you know that, but...
Yeah, he mentioned it. He's like, you need to do it. He's like, you got to do it over his shoulder. And got this interview.
Yeah, that's really fantastic. It's all coming together, right? So what about Sherry? You want to jump into that question?
So I am the executive director of the Poetry for Personal Power. We do mental health, arts, entrepreneurship, and we're an advocacy organization. So a lot of times my poetry translates into themes of resilience. There's a lot of times that people do what I call trauma poetry or whatnot. And for me, when I'm telling the story, it is to be celebrated because I survived, or maybe I'm personifying someone else who survived. And that's what we do here at Poetry for Personal Power. We do that with artists. We also do that with advocates who help people with non-clinical behavioral health. So poetry for me, one, I'm a writer. I write all different kinds of things. I research. So poetry is not just kind of the pigeonhole that I burrowed into. Outside of that, I'm a publisher because I feel strongly about people owning their own narratives. For so long, especially for BIPOC peoples, we have had to sell our narratives to people outside of our own communities, and they are now owned by all these other people, changed, finagled, however they want to do it. Right. It's important that we own and preserve our history and are able to tell our own stories. So if there's anything that I would tell somebody listening to this right now, history just happened a second ago, and a second before that, and a second before that, and the sentence that I just said is history now. So when you write and tell your own narrative, you're preserving that not just for you, but for the people after you. So don't just look at history as something that happened 40, 50, 60 years ago. You are currently history. You are making history right now. So preserve those stories. Like, preserve that. If you're a writer and you are so intended, don't think that what you say isn't important.
Sure.
And if you feel like you don't have anything to say, keep living.
Yeah, it'll come. There's going to be plenty to talk about this world. My
goodness. I will piggyback off that if I can.
Yes.
I've learned since I've been doing this, it doesn't matter what the topic is. You could write about the same topic. 10 people can write about the same topic, but you're going to get 10 different views. Mm-hmm. So no matter what, even if you think you hearing it over and over and over and over again, just write it, because your perception is different from another person's perception, and you could change somebody's views on something or save somebody's life because they going through something that you're going through right now and don't know how to deal with it, but you know how to deal with it because you wrote about it. So if you're a writer, write.
Yeah.
Just
your voice
write.
Is important.
Even if it's just BS, pardon my French, just write. Just get it out. You got to get it out.
It's good public television French there. Appreciate it. But let's also point out to the audience in this amazing moment that just has really organically happened. We did not plan this. I did not know John was sitting next to Sherry at all. So what an amazing way to start the day for some people who maybe just happened into this like I did. So if you're liking this show and you'd like to be part of this experience, please reach out to me. My name is Chris Odam. I work for the Kansas City Public Schools. I spent most of my time there in the classroom, and now I'm the English coordinator. And I would like to talk to you perhaps about your experience as a student and what you're doing these days. Again, so that those experiences live and breathe in front of our current students who are currently weighing all of their options for all of the chances they will take in life. So, John and Sherry, thank you so much for this really impromptu, awesome moment in my day. I'm telling you, I shopped through a whole bunch of poems today, and the power of performance means I look back through my little tiny portfolio that's really pretty huge, but I found these in the basement. So I was like, I don't even know what year I wrote this, right? Yeah.
But when you read that, doesn't it feel like a foreigner to you? Like, I wrote this. Like, oh, this is an old friend. Like, okay, well, I'm going to minister to myself right now. This is great. I needed this.
Facts. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I always been lost in the beat, and that there's something to do there. Like, stay lost in the beat sometimes. Like, if you love being lost in the beat, stay in there some. You know, make a plan for it. Get a beat making machine. You know, like. Get in it, you know. So I've been doing music a little bit more, and it's fun to listen to myself a long time ago through my old poetry, telling me to, you know. So I respect you guys. I'm on my artist path. When we're done with COVID, I'm gonna invite you. We're gonna have some reunion with the band I'm in. I'm the lead singer too, and been working like this whole. Hey, I'm not bragging, but I wouldn't let these other dudes up there very, very long. They don't know the hip hop might be quite enough. So I don't know if they could be on the mic. They can make some noise and stuff, respect due to them. But I want whoever's on the mic to really know what they're dabbling in, right? So
absolutely.
Thank you.
Education is everything. Know the history. Yeah.
Yes, for real. Thank you so much for this. John, I will let you know when this airs. Sherry, I will let you know when this airs. And we look back on it and think it was really fun. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.